Today our focus is on multi-step equations again. This is just going to be 2 quick examples just as a refresher before you get started on today's assignment. So what we need to do is let's go ahead and look at this first one. It is 1 minus 3x equals 3x plus 1. If you'll remember from yesterday's lesson, our first thing we need to do is to get our variables together. And we always want to move the one that's smaller. Well, I have a negative 3 and a positive 3. Negative 3 is smaller, so to undo minus 3, I'm going to add 3x to both sides. And I have 1 equals 3 plus 3 is 6x plus 1 left over. So now I'm down to a normal 2-step equation that we've been working on. I'm going to circle my couple, my 6x. How do you kick out plus 1? What is the opposite of adding 1? It is subtracting 1. Ooh, I should have wrote that in blue so it would stand out to you. Sorry about that. So 1 minus 1 is 0 equals 6x. So what I do now is how do you break up 6 times x? Because I still need that x by itself. We're going to divide by 6. When I divide 0 divided by 6, this trips us up sometimes, but we're not going to let it. 0 divided by any number is always going to be 0. So no matter what you're doing, 0 divided by anything is still a 0. Let's look at example number 2. Example number 2 looks a little crazy. It's a lot longer than the first one, but you've got this. We can do it. 4r plus 8 plus 5 equals negative 2r minus 15 minus r. There's just a lot going on in this problem. So before I do anything, I want to look at my variables. I have 1r on the left-hand side. I have 2 on the right-hand side. So I'm going to look at this negative 2 and this minus r. And I'm going to get those together first. Remember, this is a negative 1r if you don't see a number in front of it. So negative 2 minus negative 1 is going to give me negative 3r. And then I'm going to write down everything else. So 4r plus 8 plus 5 equals negative 3r minus 15. Now, I don't want to move things across the equal sign yet because this right here, this 8 plus 5, that's giving me too many numbers on that other side to have to think about right now. I want to go ahead and put them together. So what is 8 plus 5? It is 13. So when I write everything out, I have 4r plus 13 equals negative 3r minus 15. So now I can think about it like every other multi-step equation that you've seen so far. I have a 4r and a negative 3r, and I need to get these together. Negative 3 is smaller, so the opposite of minus 3r is adding 3r. So we add 3r to both sides. 4r plus 3r is 7r plus 13 equals negative 15, because don't forget to bring down your negative 15 on the right. So now I'm at a 2-step equation like you're really good at solving. So we're going to circle our couple, our 7r. How do we kick out plus 13? Or what's the opposite of adding 13? Subtracting 13. So I'm left with 7r equals negative 15 minus 13, I'll tell you, is negative 28. Slide it up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So now I have 7 times r equals negative 28. How do you break up 7 times r? We're going to divide by 7 on both sides. And I am left with r equals negative 4. So now remember, just like I told you yesterday, once you get an answer, you can plug it back into your original equation. And if your two sides give you the same answer, you know you got your equation correct. So always remember that's a good way to make sure you're on the right track.